On the edge of a quiet town, there was a small house that had stood for nearly 70 years. The house was simple: white wooden walls, a small garden filled with roses and lavender, and a wooden bench on the porch where an old woman sat almost every evening. Her name was Eleanor. Eleanor was 95 years old. Her hair had turned silver many years ago, and her hands carried the wrinkles of a life that had seen almost an entire century. But what made Eleanor special was not her age. It was her wisdom. People from the town often visited her, young people especially. They came with questions about life, happiness, and purpose, because Eleanor had something rare. She had lived long enough to see what truly matters and what doesn't. One quiet afternoon, a young man named Daniel came to visit her. Daniel was 30 years old. From the outside, his life looked perfect. He had a good career, a nice apartment, friends, money. But inside, something felt wrong. He felt restless, unsatisfied, like he was running through life without understanding where he was going. He had heard people say that Eleanor often gave the best advice anyone could receive. So he came with one simple question: what is the most important thing to know in life? Eleanor looked at him and smiled gently. Then she said something he would never forget. If I could give advice to my younger self, I would tell her 20 things. Daniel leaned forward. What things? He asked. Eleanor laughed softly. Well, she said, sit down, because life's lessons are never short. Lesson 1. Stop rushing through life. Eleanor began slowly. When I was young, I rushed through everything. I rushed through school. I rushed through my career. I rushed through my days. I always thought happiness was somewhere in the future. She paused. But the truth is, happiness is happening right now. She pointed toward the garden. Look at those flowers. They bloom slowly. They grow slowly. Nothing beautiful in life happens in a rush. Daniel nodded quietly. Eleanor continued. If you rush through life, you will reach the end before you understand what life was. Lesson 2. People matter more than success. Eleanor took a deep breath. When I was in my 30s, I worked very hard. I wanted success. I wanted recognition. I wanted people to admire me. And eventually, they did. But there was a cost. I was always busy. I missed family dinners. I missed birthdays. I missed time with people I loved. Her eyes became soft with memory. When my husband died many years later, I realized something painful. No achievement in the world could replace lost time with someone you love. She looked directly at Daniel. Success is temporary, but relationships are life. Lesson 3. Don't wait to be happy. Many people believe happiness comes after something. After they earn more money, after they find the perfect partner, after they achieve their dreams. Eleanor shook her head. That is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Happiness is not something you arrive at. It's something you practice. If you cannot be happy with small things, you will never be happy with big things. Lesson 4. Forgive people quickly. Eleanor leaned back in her chair. I wasted many years being angry. Angry at friends, angry at family, angry at mistakes. But anger is a heavy thing to carry. Eventually, I realized something. Forgiveness is not something you do for others. It's something you do for yourself. When you forgive, you free your own heart. Lesson 5. Time is the most valuable thing you have. Eleanor looked at the sky for a moment. When you are young, time feels endless. You think there will always be more time. But life moves faster than you think. Days become years. Years become decades. And suddenly you are 95 years old, wondering how everything happened so quickly. She smiled softly. If people truly understood how valuable time is, they would spend it very differently. Lesson 6. Small moments are the big moments. Daniel listened carefully. Eleanor pointed toward the sunset forming behind the hills. You see that? Most people don't even notice sunsets. They are too busy checking their phones or worrying about tomorrow. But life is made of small moments. A conversation, a laugh, a walk with someone you love. One day you will realize those small moments were the big moments. Lesson 7. Don't compare your life to others. When I was young, Eleanor said, I compared myself to everyone. Who had more money? Who had a better house? Who had more success? But comparison, she explained, is a trap. There will always be someone who has more. But there will also always be someone who has less. The only life you need to understand is your own. Lesson 8. Kindness is never wasted. Eleanor smiled warmly. In 95 years, I learned something beautiful. Kindness always comes back. Maybe not immediately, maybe not from the same person, but kindness travels through the world, and eventually it finds its way back to you. Lesson 9. Fear stops most people from living. Daniel asked a question. What stopped you from doing things you wanted to do? Eleanor answered honestly. Fear. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of making mistakes. But later she realized something powerful. Most regrets in life are not from things you did. They are from things you didn't do. Lesson 10. Love deeply. Eleanor's voice became softer. Love is the most powerful thing in life. Love your family. Love your friends. Love your partner. But most importantly, let them know you love them. Because one day there will be a last conversation, and you won't know when it happens. Lesson 11. Take care of your health. When you are young, Eleanor said, you think your body will last forever. But health is something you must protect. Walk, eat well, rest. Your future self will thank you. Lesson 12. Don't chase approval. For many years, I wanted people to approve of me. I wanted everyone to like me. But she eventually realized something freeing. No matter what you do, someone will always disagree. So live according to your values, not according to other people's expectations. Lesson 13. Learn something every day. Eleanor smiled proudly. I am 95 years old, and I still learn new things. Curiosity keeps the mind young. When people stop learning, they slowly stop living. Lesson 14. Appreciate what you already have. Many people spend their lives chasing more money, more success, more possessions. But Eleanor said something simple. Gratitude creates happiness. If you learn to appreciate what you already have, you will feel rich no matter what. Lesson 15. Life is shorter than you think. Eleanor looked directly at Daniel. I blinked, and 95 years passed. Life moves quickly, so don't waste time on things that don't matter. Final advice. Daniel sat quietly for a long time. Finally, he asked one last question. If you could tell the whole world one thing, what would it be? Eleanor smiled gently. Life is not about collecting things. It's about collecting moments. Love people. Be kind. Stay curious. And remember, one day you will look back at your life